What's going on, everybody? It's great to have you with us. So, Boomer Esiason says the Vikings have a contract offer on the table for Dalvin Cook. Is there a chance we could bring him back? Yes, there's exactly two chances, slim and none. I'm not buying this report for 1 minute, but let's talk about the implications and why he's reporting this. And is there really a chance that Dalvin Cook could come back to the Minnesota Vikings? There are reports that the Miami Dolphins have offered Dalvin Cook a contract, and as everybody in the world knows, that's where he wants to play. It's his hometown, after all. Dalvin has not accepted that contract at this time. Translation: they didn't offer him as much money as he was hoping for. Also reports that the New York Jets might be interested in his service. Translation number 2, his agent is throwing stuff out there, hoping to create a sense of urgency and hoping to up the dollar amount that the Dolphins are willing to give Dalvin. This is not all that uncommon. In the NFL, agents do this all the time to try to get their players the best money that they can. Media members are given information from time to disseminate out there to try to stir up the pot. Why I find this highly unlikely is that while I respect the heck out of Boomer Esiason, I love watching him on the CBS pregame show, and I loved watching him on Monday Night Football back in the day. I believe his first year was 1998, and the first game I really remember is that game in Green Bay that we all love. But I digress. I'm not buying it. There is no way that the Minnesota Vikings would offer Dalvin Cook $7 million. He had a contract with the Minnesota Vikings that was going to pay him in cash $10.4 million. If the Vikings were truly offering $7 million for Dalvin to stay to only take a $3.4 million pay cut, Dalvin would have been a fool to turn that down. I understand it's a pride thing, and I understand he probably was told he'd be in a reduced role, but there is no way that Dalvin would have thought to himself, you know what, I can do better than $7 million. I suppose it is possible that maybe, just maybe, he was crazy enough to think that, but I'd have to think that he wasn't. So let's break this all down. Darren Doogie Wolfson of KSTP Channel 5, who appears on Score North, Thursday said he has heard absolutely nothing about this and is not buying it whatsoever. And frankly, I believe him. I've met Doogie a couple times, had a chance to interview him once. He's a straight shooter. I just don't see how the Vikings would completely backtrack on everything they've done this offseason by getting rid of older players like Adam Thielen, Eric Kendricks, asking Harrison Smith to take a much reduced salary, and to just turn around and sign Dalvin Cook back. Is it possible? I suppose. But let's think about everything that they've done. They've only signed players that are in the 25, 26-year-old range. They're not giving out long-term contracts to older players. They're still holding on to Danielle Hunter, deciding what they're going to do with him. It would make absolutely no sense for them to bring Dalvin Cook back. On top of that, you signed Alexander Mattison to a 2-year, $7 million deal, and you probably made assurances to him that while he wasn't going to be a bell cow, they are going to go to running back by committee, and he is going to be the chairman of the board. To bring Dalvin Cook back would just completely undermine everything you told him. Now, that's not uncommon either. It's not like NFL teams have never gone back on something they've said. That would really change the team dynamic as to what you've done through OTAs and mini camps and the impressions that you've been giving all throughout this offseason about how we want to do the running back by committee approach, and we don't want a guy that, while he hits a lot of home runs, also strikes out a lot. Listen, we all know those runs that Dalvin Cook had against Miami, Buffalo, Indianapolis, but we also know how many 1st and 10s that ended up being no gains, 1 yards, or losses. Kevin O'Connell has said many times he wants to be in 2nd and medium and 3rd and short. And that's what this offense needs to do. This offense needs to get out of pert near always being at the top of the league in 3 and outs. They need to have longer sustained drives. They need to keep the defense off the field. And while Dalvin Cook certainly does provide that home run threat, he also provides that strikeout threat. I seriously doubt that Dalvin Cook has a contract offer for $7 million from the Vikings, because he'd be a fool not to take that. And the Vikings would kind of be foolish to offer him that after everything they've done so far. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave me some comments. Thank you kindly for joining me. And as always, Skol to the next episode.